Now I got to do a little bit of a disclaimer here. And if you think that this series is a step-by-step going through the manual of how to build a Bismarck, like maybe you haven't watched it from episode number 1, so you kind of don't know the format of the way I do things, you're going to be sadly mistaken. We'll get into the episode in a second here. But what I want to say is that be prepared. Every once in a while, I might go off on some sort of a tangent. I might like this episode's going to start out and I'm going to have a microscope right here. What's a microscope got to do with the Bismarck? And then I start talking about drill bits. Well, what's drill bits got to do with it? Well, if you watch it for about 1 minute and 15 seconds, it'll start making sense. It's actually about the easy line. However, it might even get worse. You might come to an episode and all of a sudden I'll start on some real tangent and start talking about some sort of religious beef I've got, or maybe political beef that I've got, and it's got nothing to do with the model ship. That's the way this series is. That's the way I do it. That's the way my channel is. You will never hear me say, please subscribe, click or subscribe, or what is it? Please, what do I often hear? Please like or subscribe. You won't hear me saying that. I'm just doing this just for fun. And you're welcome to be here at the model table with me and watching, or maybe down my workshop, or whatever the case may be. But be prepared to, all of a sudden, I start talking about something that is almost unrelated. Now, let's get started. What I'm trying to do here right now is get it so it's focused as good as possible on the sides of the drill bit. I'm not too worried about the top surface, like this. You can focus in on the top and you can see the scratches in the shank. But I want the sides. And I'll explain in a minute why I want the sides. Now you just knew I wasn't going to be able to leave this alone, right? Okay, so that's the drill bit. Okay, I would say that's about as good as we can get it. Now I'm going to move over, and we're going to use the same magnification on the easy line. Okay, there's our easy line. We're going to have to refocus here. And we will focus on the sides. And if I move up and down on it, you're going to see that the sides are not perfectly flat or smooth. It sort of undulates as it goes along. In fact, it almost changes diameter. See, it's a little bit narrower there, and you move somewhere else, it's a little bit wider, but we'll just sort of take the average here, which I would say is about right there. So let's just focus on the very sides here if we can. Okay, I now have the size of the drill bit focused and the sides of the easy line in focus with the exact same optics, and everything's the same. And one of the items there, I already know what it is because I measured it. It's the drill bit. It's 18 thousandths of an inch, just a little guy. I'll show it to you. I'll put the macro lens on this camera, and I'll show you what we were looking at here. Okay, we got the macro lens on. Let's move in. Okay, we know that our drill bit is 18 thousandths of an inch. I measured it 3 or 4 times accurately. It always came out to 18 thou. Now we want to know, what is the easy line? Let's go to the computer. We are in CorelDRAW, and we've been here many times before. You can see our 2 snapshots. Top one is obviously the easy line, and the bottom one is obviously the drill bit. Now it's important that you remember that both of these snapshots are to the exact same magnification. So yeah, the ratio of the one object to the other is really accurate. You'll notice that over top of the drill bit I've drawn a ruler. That's those yellow lines. Now it goes from 0 to 18 to represent the 18 thousandths of an inch that drill bit is in diameter. Now let me just zoom in a little bit here. Okay, obviously we have to adjust our ruler. Now it's not that hard actually. Well, we can get a hold of the handle here, it'll work. Okay, now a little bit more. Alright, I think I pretty much got it. Now, our ruler is 18 thousandths of an inch across now. You know, that's what it represents. Now, in order to find out exactly what the easy line is, we take our ruler, which is corrected, and we put the 0 on the edge here, and we'll zoom in just a little bit so we can see it better. Okay, here we are. We're at the 0, so it's almost, there's 5, so it's almost 6 1/1000ths of an inch. So the easy line was advertised as 10. Well, it's actually only 6. So it's even finer than they thought it was. I wonder if anybody actually measured it. Maybe this is the first time. Well, it can't be the first time. Somebody must have measured it. Anyway, I like doing stuff like this because it sort of keeps the cobwebs out of my brain. Anyway, we'll see you back at the model table, and maybe we can get some of this easy line on the Bismarck where it's supposed to be, not in CorelDRAW. Now, interestingly, there is nothing in the manual about how to run the rigging. This is page 1, and this is the last step, 64, that we did, 3-4 weeks ago. And you would think that the rigging should be 65. I mean, that's the most logical. Well, here's 65. Anyway, there's nothing about the rigging, trust me. So you're sort of relied on looking for photographs or something like that. And in this case, I'm gonna refer to Stefan's book here. I'm gonna hang the camera up from overhead, and we'll look at it properly. But so let me get this out of the way here. Okay, in Stefan's book, I think there are 6 pages that deal with rigging. By rigging, I mean the wires and lines and so on, like ropes for the flags and so on. A lot of it is duplicate, like I think, in fact, I know for a fact, a lot of what you see here is also here on this page. It's not like they're all different or anything like that. It looks like there's a lot, but I think if I had all of these, I would have pretty much all of it. What I am having a problem with here, well, why don't I hang the camera up so we can look straight down and you'll be able to see it a lot clearer. Now, I do believe that some of you already have this exact same book. Not many, but some. The rigging starts on page 172, and there's 6 pages. And you can sort of see where it's supposed to be attached. Yeah, I think that in all likelihood, as I mentioned, each one of these diagrams is all the same rigging, only from a different angle. We're also going to check the manual that comes with the other model. I'm going to go and try and copy some of that on the computer in a few minutes here, and we'll take a look at that. As I mentioned in yesterday's video, we want to do the rigging that is on the inside first. Anyway, we'll zoom in on this and take a closer look. These older ships had an awful lot of wires running all over the place. That's just the way they did it back then. Now, of course, with satellite communication and what have you, they don't do that anymore. Anyway, let's go take a look at what we've got on the computer. Now, I don't know if this particular model is available anymore. I've got a feeling that it's not. And if I try to get on the company website, I keep getting error messages. So I don't know if it's a case if they've gone out of business or if this COVID thing is, throwing them for a bit of a loop. And they just sort of shut down their website. I don't know. I can find it, for sale, but it says out of stock. So anyway, it doesn't really matter. They do have an excellent manual, and I'm going to take advantage of their manual and use it as a reference. I'm hoping that the fittings on our Bismarck are much the same as on this other model. We should be able to figure it out. And between that and Stefan's book, we should end up with something that looks pretty realistic. Okay, as you can see, I got my laptop here, and I've got all that stuff off the computer on my laptop, and I'm just sort of comparing with what I see here in the other model compared to Stefan's book. And I'm starting off at the very first diagram. I believe that they are in order of how they think you should do it, and it makes sense because, okay, there's a couple of lines that are supposed to go. Probably you can't see it, but they go from the side of the funnel up to here, and those same two lines show in Stefan's book. Now, of course, we're looking at it reversed, but it shows the exact same two lines. Now, what it does show here in Stefan's book is that these two lines look like they might be a little bit more heavy-duty than the aerials. It could be that these were some sort of support lines for the mast. I don't know. I always thought the mast was sort of freestanding, but maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was supported by something. Anyway, I think we will just use the easy line. I never did calculate to see what scale this easy line is. We concluded that it was 6/1000ths of an inch in diameter. Well, if you multiply 6/1000ths of an inch times 200, well, just do it just for the fun of it and see what it comes out to. Well, I almost think that I must have made a mistake here, because when I work it out, it comes out to 1,200 thousandths. In other words, over an inch in diameter. So to scale, this line would be just a little over an inch thick. That seems awfully heavy. I wonder if I made a mistake there in my calculating. No, I don't think so. 6/1000ths times 200 is, yeah, that's right. Okay. Now, according to everything I'm reading, the line goes from right there at the base of that little ladder, and it attaches to the side of the funnel right there. Now, on the other model, there's a little bit of a bracket. There's nothing here. And my first thought was, well, maybe if I just sort of lay the end of it, put the end of the line on the funnel and then put a little bit of extra thin there, it'll, glue it in place. But that's going to really show. And I'm thinking now that maybe what I should do is drill a little hole about, 10/1000ths of an inch in diameter, a real tiny hole, poke the easy line through it, and then that way I could use a lot less glue. That's my thinking right now. Okay, now carefully reach in here that I don't crush anything. I do believe that it comes right about here. And I think I should maybe just make like a little pilot hole if I can here. Now I was going to use my Dremel tool here. The slowest it'll turn is 5,000 RPM, at least that's what it indicates. But this chuck is not true. Either that or the bit is bent, but would all the bits be bent? I don't think so. Anyway, I think we're just going to do a little test here and see if it's possible to drill a hole using this. I know that I had drilled small holes before in plastic and didn't have very good results. So trying to hold it here so that you can see it. Well, it might work. There is a hole there. Or did it seal itself over? Maybe it melted the plastic and it just liquefied. And now there is the other thing. Oh no, what did I do before? Oh yeah, if I was to use this little mandrel here, put my tiny little bit in this, and then I was to put this in my cordless drill, you know, I could turn it reasonably slow. I think I might actually have better luck. So I have a faint recollection of doing that before, when I had to drill a tiny hole in something. Maybe one of you can remember what it was. I can't even remember anymore. Okay, that's what's happened. The plastic sort of melted on the drill bit here. Okay, we can get that off. Going to use the slower turning one. Okay, this one doesn't turn 100% true either. However, well, that could mean that the bit is bent. Yeah, but it turns a lot slower, and I think I'll have a lot better control. Now, I was looking at this bit here, and it seems to be a little bit on the dull side. That's not going good. I'm going to see if I can find a different bit. Yeah. In the meantime, thanks for watching, and all being well, we'll see you tomorrow.